Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that has the power to change your life habits. Whether you realize it or not, your daily habits play a crucial role in determining your success, not just in your career, but in your relationships and personal growth too. In fact, the small everyday actions you take shape the course of your life more than any major event or decision. But why are habits so powerful? And how can we harness them to build success in both life and love? Today, we'll break down the psychology of habits, how they form, and the impact they have on your overall success. Let's dive in. Let's start by addressing why habits are so important. Most of the things we do every day are done on autopilot, brushing our teeth, driving to work, or scrolling through social media. These are examples of habits, actions that we repeat regularly without thinking. According to a study by researchers at Duke University, habits make up about 40% of our daily actions. This means that nearly half of what we do is governed by automatic behavior. This is crucial because it tells us that habits can either work for us or against us. Good habits, like exercising regularly, prioritizing quality time with loved ones, or setting goals, propel us toward success. On the other hand, bad habits, like procrastinating, unhealthy eating, or neglecting our relationships, can sabotage our progress. But what makes habits so powerful? The reason is rooted in how our brains function. Neuroscientists explain that habits are formed through a process called chunking, where our brains group actions together to save energy. Once a behavior becomes a habit, it gets stored in the basal ganglia, a part of the brain responsible for routine activities. This allows the brain to focus on more complex decisions while habits run on autopilot. Now that we understand how habits are formed, let's explore how they impact success in life. Successful people don't achieve their goals overnight. It's their habits that get them there. In fact, James Clear, the author of the best-selling book Atomic Habits, argues that success is the product of daily habits, not one-time transformations. Small, consistent actions compound over time to produce significant results. For example, think about the habit of setting goals each morning. This might take just a few minutes, but the long-term impact is enormous. By consistently identifying what's important and making a plan to achieve it, you're setting yourself up for success each day. On the flip side, neglecting to set goals leaves you directionless, more likely to fall into distractions or procrastination. Habits like waking up early, prioritizing health and fitness, and regularly learning new skills are hallmarks of successful individuals. A 2018 survey by Inc. magazine found that 90% of top CEOs credit their morning routines, waking up early, exercising, and focusing on planning the day, as key to their success. These habits create a foundation for productivity and resilience. Now, let's talk about how habits impact your relationships. Just like in other areas of life, small, everyday actions in your relationships can either strengthen or weaken your bond. One of the most powerful habits in relationships is communication. Regularly checking in with your partner, expressing appreciation, and discussing your feelings builds trust and intimacy over time. Psychologists call this the magic ratio, a concept introduced by Dr. John Gottman, a relationship expert, which refers to the ratio of positive interactions to negative ones in a relationship. Gottman's research shows that successful relationships have a ratio of 5 positive interactions for every negative one. This could be something as simple as a compliment, a shared moment of laughter, or a thoughtful gesture. These small habits build emotional safety and connection. On the flip side, unhealthy habits, like taking your partner for granted, avoiding difficult conversations, or neglecting quality time, can erode a relationship over time. These behaviors might seem insignificant in the moment, but when repeated, they create emotional distance. It's not the big fights that often destroy relationships. It's the slow accumulation of negative habits. So how do we build habits that last? According to psychological research, the key to habit formation lies in the habit loop, a concept popularized by Charles Duhigg in his book The Power of Habit. The habit loop consists of 3 main components: the cue, the routine, and the reward. The cue. This is the trigger that initiates the habit. It could be a time of day, a specific environment, or an emotional state. For example, if your cue is waking up, you might follow it with the habit of drinking a glass of water. The routine. This is the actual behavior, the habit itself. In this case, it would be the act of drinking water, or perhaps exercising, reading, or meditating. The reward. The reward is what reinforces the habit. It's the positive feeling you get after completing the routine. For instance, drinking water in the morning gives you a sense of refreshment, or exercising gives you a rush of endorphins. The reward encourages your brain to repeat the behavior. To build successful habits, it's important to start small. Don't try to overhaul your entire life overnight. Focus on atomic habits, small, easily achievable actions that move you closer to your goals. Over time, these small wins add up to big changes. And don't forget to celebrate your progress. Even small milestones matter. When you recognize and reward yourself for making progress, you reinforce the behavior, making it more likely to stick. Just as we need to build good habits, it's important to recognize and break bad habits. Whether it's procrastination, over-reliance on social media, or negative communication patterns in relationships, bad habits can hold us back from success and happiness. The first step to breaking bad habits is awareness. You need to identify the cues that trigger these habits. For example, if you find yourself mindlessly scrolling through social media, ask yourself, what's the trigger? Is it boredom, stress, or avoidance of a bigger task? Once you identify the trigger, you can interrupt the habit loop by changing your routine. Research from University College London shows that it takes about 66 days to form a new habit. But the process of breaking a habit can be even more difficult because of the neural pathways that have formed over time. The key is consistency and replacing bad habits with better ones. Instead of scrolling through your phone, replace that habit with reading a book, meditating, or going for a walk. Another strategy is to make bad habits harder to engage in. For instance, if you want to stop snacking late at night, keep unhealthy snacks out of your house and stock your kitchen with healthy alternatives. By changing your environment, you reduce the likelihood of falling back into old patterns. Ultimately, success in life and relationships comes down to the small actions we take every day. Your habits are the foundation of your future. Whether it's building a morning routine that boosts your productivity or incorporating daily practices that strengthen your relationships, the key is to be intentional about your habits. Remember, habits don't form overnight, but with consistency, patience, and a clear plan, you can shape your life and relationships for the better. Start small, stay committed, and watch how your habits create success over time. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another video on personal growth, success, and relationships. And in the comments below, let me know, what's one habit you're working on building right now? Let's keep the conversation going.